We're on. We're live. I think we're live. Yes, yes, we are. Yeah, we are. We are live. What is? Just making sure. All right, we are live. Let me close some of these. Okay, we are live. What is good, guys? How's everybody doing out there? It is I. What's good, everybody? How's everybody been? You guys been doing well? Uh, I have. Your boy just came back. Had a pretty good day, relaxing day. You know what I saw? Saw that Fantastic Four movie today, my dudes. So yes, indeed, if you have seen Fantastic Four First Steps, feel free to we'll get into a conversation. I don't want to get too much in because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But yes, I have seen it. I enjoyed it very much. It to me is the best live action adaptation of the Fantastic Four. Indeed, it is also one of the things I appreciate so much about it is they really put the emphasis and the structure of family into this film more than anything else. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot from what the creative team, what they were looking for. Indeed. So yes, that meant a lot. Let me see something else real quick. Uh, oh, do, do. Sorry about that. Uh, okay. Let's go to the live chat again. All right. So yeah, guys, I have definitely thought Fantastic Four was spot on, great, and shouts out to Vanessa Kirby, definitely. I will talk more about her in my review more, but shouts out to her. She was chef's kiss as Sue as Sue in the film. It felt like I was. They gave her all the almost modern take books of Sue and just she read them and she's like, okay, I know what to do because never once in this film did she feel out of place. Never once in this film did she feel like the quote unquote damsel in distress. Not once in this movie did she feel that she wasn't as much as a part of the conglomerates of brain power. Yes, Reed is smart, the smart one, but yeah, Sue brought her own, and Johnny too, which I was glad to see too. So yeah, it was Fantastic Four was great, and I can't wait to see where they go now. Um, and I cried seeing Galactus live action. Galactus was another chef's kiss. That was just near perfect. And again, didn't mind that they used Shalaba as the Silver Surfer in this at all. It still felt very connected, and I enjoyed it. Indeed. So I have seen pretty much almost, yeah, well, yeah, mostly all the movies that I've been waiting to see. Um, I got to see Jurassic Park. I enjoyed it. I saw Superman, enjoyed it. I saw this. Um, Anything else in terms of what comes out in August is just gravy on top. Um, most likely, probably, I don't. Most likely, there's this movie called Primal Fear, which is a dinosaur movie that is going to be, I think, August 21st, and pretty much it's dinosaurs in the Vietnam War. So I'm like, I'm all for that. Uh, and stuff like that. So yes. Um, let's see. What do we have? So hi, everybody. I'm seeing people come in. What's good, everybody? Who is in the lead now in terms of top fans? Because yeah, now YouTube got this new thing. The top fans. The more you comment, you get ranked. Like who's the top fan? So right now, it seems to be Cyborg is the top fan. Uh, that's pretty funny. So let's see. Something wrong with the chat. Hi, Chris. I'm seeing fine. Uh, re Reload your screen. Probably that's what you gotta do. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Okay. Finally, this is a Fantastic Four movie that makes me so happy. Yeah, it was a damn good movie. Very damn good movie. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. There was a lot of deaths as of late, and that's why you haven't really seen me on the put up a lot of things as of late. I didn't put up a lot of content this week and the following week. It was just too many deaths. I was just like, yeah, that kind of drained me. Uh, the one that hurt me the most was probably Malcolm Jamal Warner's death. His hurt me the most. Ozzy. I was hearing things coming out of Ozzy's camp, like he was sick or he was dealing with Parkinson's and things like that, and then that happened, and then yeah, and say what you want, yeah, Hogan dying. That I was hearing things about Hogan too. I was like, is he sick or? And then this happens. And again, like I wrote on my social media, I'm like, look, as a wrestling fan, I will never deny his impact to professional wrestling as a whole. He was the Babe Ruth on the Mount Rushmore of greatest professional wrestlers. He took professional wrestling into a different stratosphere that not even the greats like Bruno Sammartino did. Again, I'm from New York, so Bruno Sammartino was a legend in New York, a legend for Madison Square Garden in general. He sold out Madison Square Garden, but nothing like Hogan. Hogan was on a different level. Um, but as a fan and as somebody who is aware of the other strikes of his life, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, I forgive him for that. No, I don't. I know what he was. I know what he did, and I know what he said. I listened to them things, and then I'm like, the fuck is wrong with this dude? So again, you're going to be torn, but don't deny and say that, oh, that never happened, or don't deny and say that I'm only going to remember him for that. No, you can't have it that way. Because if that's the way, then the way I also look at it, and this is kind of something I kind of threw out at a way, I was like, well, if you can look at it like that, then can you look at, let's say, can you look at, can you still listen to R. Kelly music? Can you still listen to his music, even though you know what he did? You see where I'm coming from with that? Just saying. But yeah, but there's been a, death came in three. came in three, and it sucks. And like I said, Malcolm Jamal Warner's death hurt the most because I grew up with that guy. He was like a big brother. Like Theo, he played Theo Huxtable, and he was, and I watched him go from that character and to so many different characters. And the one thing that I appreciate the most about Malcolm Jamal Warner is there's not a bad thing that anybody has said about him. Not a bad thing. Everybody who's worked with him or knew him as a person, just the nicest guy you ever meet, most respectful guy you ever meet. More importantly, what I appreciate the most about him is the last interview I listened to about him. He went on to talk about. He said, "What do you want to be remembered for in your career?" And he didn't even talk about his career. He was like, "I just want to be remembered as being a nice guy." Can't have said that any better, and I love that. So yeah, Ozzy again. Ozzy Osbourne. That rocker lifestyle. That lifestyle is harsh for anybody. I mean, it's cool, but it's also it's not a lifestyle that people is going to necessarily like. The lifestyle, and many times people you know drugs happen and things like that. But shout out to Sharon. She stayed with him even when he even said it, like she should have left me. But shouts out to her. She stayed. They had two children, things like that. You know, I didn't get into Black Sabbath until I was like in my late teens. So, I knew who Ozzy Osbourne was, but and I knew about Black Sabbath and all that, but it was later in the year when I really started listening to more of their stuff. But there's probably some people that got into him and don't deny and say, I knew about him. But there's probably a lot of people that got into Black Sabbath because of the Iron Man movie, because they used that song. And there's no shame in that. If you got into Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne because of that, no shame in that. There are just certain people that that are certain people that can say, well, I liked them before that. I mean, we all hear about the rumors of him biting the head off a bat and things like that. But you know, I thought Ozzy was cool. He was cool. And every time I saw interviews with him, I remember what interview I saw with him with Flavor Flav when Flavor Flav interviewed him when he got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's just really cool and down to earth about it. And he's just like, yeah, and he's like, I'm Flavor Flav. I'm here just to congratulate you, Ozzy. And he said, yeah, congratulations getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I went last year. Nice to see you. And GZ Ozzy, oh, thank you. It's things like it's cool. Ozzy was Ozzy, and I my heart and my condolences go out to his family. And what I love the most is seeing one of his grandchildren. They were watching him, and they just pointed at him, and they were saying "Papa." I was like, that caught me. So yeah, a lot of deaths, guys, and that's why I kind of stayed off. Was in the mourning stage of several of them. Especially like I said, Malcolm Jamal Warner. That really messed me up big time. So let's see what's going on in the comments section. Uh, Let me move this pop up chat. All right, this is better. All right. Do the live. All right. Let's see. Are you gonna see the Naked Gun? Yin and Yang Lad. I probably will. You got to have some comedy mixed in with some of that. And I was a fan of the original Naked Gun series, with the great Leslie Nielsen, rest in peace. Um, and I probably more likely will see this. More likely we'll see it because uh, Liam Neeson is not trying to be comedic in this. He's just playing himself. But he is the son of Frank, so he's basically Frank Drebin Jr., which is pretty funny. So I am looking forward to that as well. I probably will check it out, most likely. Indeed. Do you think Deacon Blackfire could be a good enemy to the X-Men? Who's that again? I don't. Hey Chris, my man, uh, did you see the horrible situation that's happening in the UK with them doing censorship on the internet? They're doing it in the name of protecting kids when it's just about control. Oh no, what's going? I did not hear that. I no man, they censoring a lot of stuff in the UK now. I'm sorry to hear that. Marion asks, I'm really glad that the new Superman movie is doing well because with what's going on in the world right now, little hope is yeah. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Let me see who's next. What is next? Hey Chris, how's it going with you as of late? I'm pretty good, Andre. Indeed. Daniel again asks, and with the censorship on the internet and social media plants happening and also everywhere in the US and the world, enforcing is yeah, like censorship can be a bummer, especially if it's not for the right reasons. If Green Lantern, you've asked this question before, Cyborg. You've asked this question before. Because I'm serious about what I'm saying about what's going on. I hear you. I'm not denying that you aren't. Yin and Yang like will you see the new Tron movie? You know, to be totally honest with y'all, your boy was never really a big Tron fan. I wasn't. I was never a big Tron fan. It looks cool. It looks cool. But I was never a big Tron fan, even from the original one. I never was. I was never a big Tron fan. I don't know. I couldn't really get into that. I've tried to sit down and I've sat down and watched the first movie, and I think I forget what the other one was, but I was just like, "Hey, I'm not feeling this. This is not working for me." I just got back from seeing from an Alaskan cruise. Wow, cool. Oh, that must have been fun. That must have been a lot of fun, Caroline, and going to see a lot. Did you see any whales? Let's see. Andre asks, so here's a quick question. Did you know that Stephen Curry is going to be in the new upcoming animated basketball movie called GOAT next year? No, I didn't. Interesting. Cool. That's fine. Yin and Yang Lad, best part of the Superman movie for you. Superman for you. Well, definitely, like I said, for me, definitely it was definitely Mr. Terrific getting the shine like he did. That is the best performance of Mr. Terrific was the MVP of that movie, and there hasn't been a lot of Mr. Terrific adaptations, live action. And please don't say Arrow because that was not Mr. Terrific at all. That was some guy acting like Mr. Terrific. No, that was not Mr. Terrific. I hated that. I hated that. So yeah, to see not only did Eddie Gathahi redeem himself with this performance, he got people to look more, especially non-comic readers, to look more into who Mr. Terrific is. Well, the second one, that was one thing that I loved about it is that now anytime I'm on social medias or I'm on my accounts like my Reddit account or things like that, and I see people posting stuff for Mr. Terrific, I'm like, it puts a smile on my face because I'm like, y'all ain't telling me something I didn't already know. I knew about that character since I was 14. So you're not changing me. I know, but I'm glad to see that he's getting the shine. Mhm. Let me see. What moment in Revenge of the Sith was emotionally hard for you to watch? Um, it wasn't really nothing in there like emotionally hard for me to watch. Um, I nah, it wasn't really anything that like had me like, oh my god, like I was crying. You know, it it really didn't. I mean, I mean, like I think for me it was just like, okay, how does he? For me, it was like, okay, how does Anakin? What's the catapult that pushes him to the dark side? And what's really? I mean, one of the things I think just kind of shocked me is just him killing younglings. I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, what you really you dirty for that? That really had me like, yo, you dirty, yeah, like Anakin, you wrong for that, man. You wrong. Like that's wrong. Like why you really had to go there? Stuff like that. Like, but it wasn't like I was crying. I was just like, yo, you wrong for that. You wrong. Like what's wrong with you? You know. And then watching him fight Obi-Wan, oh, I was more laughing than and like, oh no. I was laughing like just watching him, talk about you underestimate my power and all this other stuff. And you got you got he's and it's just it was stupid from the get-go because it's like the way they were leveled, he still had to jump up. And you got Obi-Wan basically said, don't try it. Like, and what happened? Got his arm leg cut, and then and then he's all screaming, I hate you, I hate you. Like, I'm like, oh shut up. Like, shut up. Like, you hate him for what? For what reasons? It's just the stupidest thing sometimes. Like, that just really kind of irked me. It didn't make me emotional, it just irked me. I did see whales actually. All right, see, humpback orcas. What were they? I'd like to know. Wisdom. If Killer Croc met the lizard, do you think they would get along? It depends on if it's Kurt Connors in the lizard or is the lizard. You got to remember that. And more importantly, there's a difference between Killer Croc and the lizard, and I think a lot of people forget that. That Killer Croc, Waylon Jones, is not. He's not a lizard. That's just a skin condition he has. Yeah, it's a rare condition where he looks very reptilian. That's it. He's not a real reptile man. It's just a skin condition. While lizard is a real reptile man, a mutated reptile man. So there's a big difference. So I still would think depending on what mind is in the lizard body, because if it's like the lizard, he would look at him as a fake, like, oh, you want to be me, you want to be one of, but you're not. You feel me? Let's see. Uh, to your knowledge, has Mephisto ever fought Dormammu? Yep, they fought a couple of times. Like those characters that are rulers of other dimensions, and of course they're gonna fight. Ego's gonna get involved, and Mephisto has met Dormammu a couple of times. So yeah, they fought. Um, do you, Andre asks, so would you like to see James Bond do a MCU movie starring the Question? No, I wouldn't. You see, to me, the question works better as a TV series, not as a movie. That type of character, you can get a lot of miles out of that character through TV, through a TV series or so. You know, him being this very obsessed but cool dude. I mean, the guy who puts on a blank face, you don't know what he looks like. Vic, but his real name is Vic Sage. You know, not 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 just doing a movie. There are certain characters I feel that way, like would work better, especially DC characters would work better as a series than a film. A prime example of that, Dead Man. Dead Man would work better as a series where you can tell different you could do different seasons that would lead up to him discovering who killed them. That would be the whole mystery of the show. Like you get him, you see him, and then you see Krishna, Ramakrishna. Yeah, I believe that's who brought him back to life, and he's things like that. But then it also builds up to him finding out who killed him, Boston Brand, who killed Boston. Um, and that's how that's just personally me. But Question definitely is one. The Question, the Dead Man. Those are guys that I feel will work better as a TV series. There's a bunch more. I might maybe I'll do a list. I'll maybe do a list you guys can see. Um, he was an enemy to Batman. Oh, okay. I can't remember. I can't remember Damian Black. I can't remember. Humpback whales. Okay. Yeah, humpbacks are. Yeah, they go up. They go up north a lot, and then they'll come back south. Um. So, what would happen if Doctor Doom was suddenly killed by a brand new hero nobody knows? If Doom was killed, the first thing the first thing they're gonna do is figure out who. Yeah, many of the Marvel heroes and the Avengers, especially FF, they're gonna try to discover who this guy who killed him. They're gonna, yeah. Did you see Fantastic Four? Yes, I did. JP. Yes, I saw it today, and I loved it. The review will be up soon. Mariam, are you looking forward to the next Godzilla Kong movie and Godzilla -1. Hell yeah. Anything Godzilla, I'm all for. You know me. I'm a big G fan. Um, this is Andre again. So how would the Olympian gods react towards a demigod son of Zeus, who's half Egyptian? Uh, the same way they would act to they would act to they've act to Hercules or any other demigod children that Zeus has sired, especially Hera. She probably want to kill him. And whose fault would that be? Zeus. Hera. I mean, read all the mythology you want. Hera hated every child of Zeus that he sired with another woman. Again, you cannot deny and blame her to a degree. It's like Zeus could not keep it in his pants. And in his eyes, I'm the king, so I could do whatever the fuck I want. It don't work that way. And I've always said it, reading as much as so much mythology, Greek mythology in general, all the times, and I've always felt like because of Zeus, the way he was, his brothers acted just similar to him. Poseidon was almost the same thing. Hades was the same, and it's sometimes the same way. You don't buy that? Okay. What did Hades do if nobody knows? Hades, what did he do? He he kidnapped his niece. That's right, his niece. And of course, she had to stay, and Greek mythology is weird. It's just really weird when you get down to it. Because Persephone, who is the daughter of Demeter, who's her father? Anybody want to take a guess? I just said his name, Zeus. Zeus is her father. See how that works? You see how Demeter, Zeus, no, Hades fell in love with his niece. And then you got Poseidon on the other side. What did Poseidon do? With Poseidon, you know what? It begins with an R, ends with an E. A priestess of his niece, Athena, her name was what? Medusa. He, her, in her, in Athena's temple, because he wanted her and he felt, oh, I'll take it from her. And what happens? Instead of being appalled at her uncle, what did she do? She punishes Medusa. How does that go, Andre? Think about that. You punish a servant of yours for what? She got you know what, and you punishing her, and you turn her and her sisters into these snake-like women. With one of them, because if you know the whole story of her sisters, they're the two. They were immortal. Medusa wasn't. Medusa was not immortal, and her punishment was she could never look at another man because she gets turned into they'll turn into stone. But it's fucked up. It's so fucked up. It is so fucked up. Greek mythology is so fucked up. Like, I've sat back and thought about that for years when I would read Greek mythology and study it. I was like, how does that make sense? Like, why didn't Athena, goddess of wisdom, basically go like Uncle Simon? What the fuck is wrong with you? My priestess, and uh, you should be mad at him, not at her. stupid shit. It's the stupidest. Like, what the fuck? As much as I love Greek mythology, it just drives me insane. It really does. Um, yeah, the Olympians are just fucking weird as is. Okay, wisdom. What if Miles Morales from the Spider Verse movies ended up in the Injustice Gods Among Us universe after he escaped from the Spider Society? That'd been crazy because yeah, it'd be similar to like when Jonathan Kent went to the Injustice world. So yeah, it'd be crazy. Marion says I forgot to add. How did Mephisto fare in the fight with Dormammu? Um, if I remember correctly, it depended on where they fought. I think Mephisto fought Dormammu in his world in the Dark Dimension. So you fighting Dormammu in his world. Yeah, you're not winning. You're not winning. Um, got plenty of wolves shirts and yeah, it's my wolf pendant right here. Uh, let's see. A song. Wait, is that song one? Whoa. Far as the Black Panther movies, you like Ryan Coogler's exploration of colorism as he did with Africa and South America in the first two movies. What would you think if he explored Asia next? Um, I'd be off. It depends because there may be people that will be like, well, how are you gonna? How do you know about that? You're not even. But he studies, and prime example of him studying is look at Sinners. Look at what he did with that movie. There are not a lot of people that know that during that time in the 1930s in the Mississippi Delta, there were Chinese there. They were called the Mississippi Chinese, Delta Chinese. And they spoke with they're immigrant, but they spoke with a very strong accent. So yeah, I would not mind it at all. Ryan Coogler is becoming one of those directors. Like I said, that I'm gonna watch anything that he directs or so. Uh, Andre asks, so how would Batman react towards a psychic black cat who's killing off criminals around Gotham? A psycho? You mean a psycho black cat? Or he's gonna try to stop her because in his eyes, it's about justice, not murder. And you also asked, so what would happen if Dragon Ball had an actual clone saga? Like if a former scientist of the Red Ribbon Army named Dr. Gray actually decided to make Saiyajin clones in order to kill Goku. Well, first of all, he's got to get first and foremost he have to get DNA. You can't just you just can't clone and it's very hard, especially for humans, to make a Saiyajin bleed. You gotta think about it. But if it did happen, that'd be kind of crazy. Even though we've seen Goku have clones. Turles is definitely one. There's been no explanation of why Turles looks like Goku. None. And he was introduced in the third or fourth movie, Tree of Might. There was no explanation of why he looks like that. What's your favorite Chinese myth? The Monkey King. I love the Monkey King. I love Zhu Kong. Excuse me. Went down the wrong too. Uh, I love the Monkey King, the myth of the Monkey King so much. That's why when the game came out, the game, um, I loved it. But so yes, I do love Sun Wukong. Uh, there's some he's a god, and then there's some stories he's a god, and there's other stories. And anytime Chinese movies do it, like I know Donnie Yen did one where he played the Monkey King. I watched that. Jet Li in Forbidden Kingdom, he was the Monkey King. I love that stuff. That's my favorite myth. Um, definitely, definitely the Monkey King. Let's see. Uh, am I a Star Trek fan? Yes, I am. I I am a Star Trek fan. My mother was a Star Trek fan as well. She loved Star Trek. When Star Trek came out, my mother, my mother was what, 3? I think she was 3 because Star Trek originally came out in 1962, I think. Um, so she watched the original. I watched the originals. I watched those, and the movies were good. And then they did Next Generation with Jean-Luc Picard and all of them, and I enjoyed that. Um, watched a little bit of Deep Space Nine, uh, but yeah, I consider myself a Star Trek fan. Indeed, I had honestly, but I've fallen off of Star Trek because I haven't watched any of the new stuff yet, and that's a shame on me, um, not to watch it. But yeah, you know, I definitely consider myself a Star Trek fan, uh, and they're a little bit more social, and a little bit more easy to get along with, and you could have a meaningful conversation with them without flipping out. With like, I'm sorry, but some of y'all Star Wars fans go fucking nuts, and I can't talk to any of y'all. Y'all want to kill somebody. Um, Yin Yang Glad says, "I love the Monkey King." Oh, yeah, he's a great character. Ever read Journey to the West? Good stuff. What scenes in the new Superman movie solidified David Cornsweet as Superman for you? Caring, pretty much. There you go. That's the hey, yo, man. Watching him in that movie save people, get them out of the way, and he's stopping stuff from he was holding back stuff from falling on buildings, and he looks at it. Is everybody okay? Turn and then he goes back to doing that. Even when I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but even when he's fighting the giant monster, like he's trying to get guidelines. He's like, look, we could save it before trying to kill it and things like that. That definitely was one of the things that I looked for Superman. Like he's not just this, I come in to save, and that was my problem with with previous DC. Like it just felt like the damage control, and that was just unbelievable. I was like, yo, that you just ripped, like, yo, help. Like he just, like, even when he was holding up and there was a dog there, he's like, come on, boy, move. And I know there's some people that hated it, like when he saved the squirrel. I was like, yo, that's Superman. What's wrong with y'all? This is stupid as shit. I was like, yo, that's Superman to me. You know, not everything has to be about, just punch, heat, vision, and that's it. I saved the day. No, I love that. That he was great. David Cornsweet, he killed it as Superman. I salute him as Superman. He is Superman now. Uh, hey Chris, hey Hunter. Andre says, so how would Goku and Vegeta and other Z fighters would react towards encountering an actual female alien warrior race that are eerily similar to the? That would be fun because I could tell Goku right now what he's going to be doing. Uh, Goku definitely, he's definitely going to be like, cool, like, oh, they must be strong. Like, okay, even though, yeah, so yeah, he would be similar to like places like the Amazons or something like that. I guess that's what you're going with. Uh, could Conan the Detective and Spy X Family share the? Could they? Could they share the same universe? No. I kind of no. I'm gonna say no because in the Spy X universe, they deal with, it's not just they dealing with powers and stuff like the little girl that is playing their daughter. She's a psychic. In the Conan detective world, you know, the only thing that is, maybe because even the criminal organization, that the people that made him uh into a boy, it is kind of like what serum would turn you from being a grown man, and then you turn back to a kid. That's always just weird. But I it would be interesting. I mean, for anybody ever seen the Detective Conan and Lupin the Third crossover special? That was fun. I recommend watching that. That was fun. That was a fun crossover. Uh, I recommend binge watching DS9. It starts off slow, but the, ends, yeah, the latest four seasons. Yeah, I watched Deep Space Nine. I watched Deep Space Nine, and I give all the characters on their credit. I do. What do you love about the Monkey King? Everything. The Monkey King is where Goku came from, right? That's where Goku was inspired from. That's where Kira Toyama, rest in peace. That's where Kira Toyama got inspired. How he created the Saiyajin, with the tails and the Monkey King. Monkey King is always depicted as he's a warrior, but he's also depicted as being um, very much not like not how can I put it? Like always of joy. Like he and he's kind of always, in some cases, he's looked at as a religious being as well, but to the most part, he's always depicted as a very honorable warrior, you know, and never, and he's always looked at as helping people. There's a story of him helping a monk, and then him traveling to India and things like that. It's crazy. It's crazy to see that. And you got to remember, this is a character that's been around since the 16th century of China. Like that's when the legend really started, if I remember correctly. It's like, yes, the 16th century of China. But I love Monkey King. I love him a lot. And your Star Wars drive me. I'm telling you, they get crazy. Andre says, so how do you think Goku? Another Goku question. Okay, how do you think Goku will react if Chi Chi decided to back, get herself backed into martial arts again? Yeah, he would love that. I wouldn't. You know what? Chi Chi ain't never lost it. That's the whole point. Chi Chi's never lost her skills. She still got it. She still got it. But if she really wanted, like, I want to get serious again with it, Goku would love it. He would love it. He would love it to death. Mm. All right, let's see what we got next. Let's see. Next two questions. Oh, here we go. All right, so who's the top fans now? Let me check to see what's the top. All right, top fans are number one, the Yin and Yang lad. Number two, Marion McDaniels, and number three, the top three is Caroline. You guys are the top three. Uh, the top three fans tonight. Well done. Congratulations. Uh, keep it going. You the more then it's basically goes like the more you write, the you're that's how you get ranked. Um, so Yin and Yang Lad asks, "Are you going to see the new Running Man movie?" I saw that trailer. I saw the trailer of the new Running Man remake. When I saw Fantastic Four this today, and uh, I didn't know Edgar Wright was doing the directing. That caught my attention real quick. I was like, he's Edgar Wright. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of down with that. At first, I wasn't really caring about it, but I think people tend to forget that The Running Man is actually a Stephen King work. So, and I enjoy the original with Arnold, but if this one is going to be uh more close to the source material to the book, I'm fine with it. I would definitely like to see it. But I saw Edgar Wright, and I was like, yeah, I'm. This is up my alley. And I was like, I like Edgar Wright, so I'm like, yeah, I'll watch anything he direct again. And are you ready for the new Avatar series? When you say Avatar, are you talking about the new movie? Because I saw that trailer too, and I look, I don't know what's going on because I didn't watch the last one. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like now they're all at each other's throat now. You know, it just is like you got some of them with guns and some of them look like they still doing the old ways. And then I it's weird. But if you're talking about Avatar from water bending and stuff, I saw the I saw an image of the new Avatar, and in the new one, the Avatar will be an earthbender. So that's going to be cool to see. I think it's a female, another female. Um, so that's cool to see. But I'm still looking forward to those animated films where we're going to see older Aang. I That's what I want to see. Like what was Aang like? We only got a glimpse of what Aang was like older in Legend of Korra, and it's funny because I have been starting to read Legend of Korra, and just again just reminded me, yeah, I didn't hate this. I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it. There were some things I disliked about it, but overall I enjoyed it very much. And every time they did a flashback, I was like, yeah, I want to see what they were like. But in terms of like I said, in terms of Avatar, I can't wait to see the new series, and I think it's going to be 2 seasons. They already announced how many seasons it's going to be, but that's cool. But in terms of James Cameron, the Avatar, I don't know. I really don't. Honestly, I don't care. I don't. I really don't. Visually they look beautiful. Yes, they are visually beautiful movies, but overall, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I saw when I seen all them fighting each other, I'm like, what's happening? What is going on? Why are they doing this? Like, it's like this tribe's fighting this tribe, and then I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't. Uh, which member of the Black Lagoon crew would be the one to set off the Hulk? Uh, Revy could do it. Revy could do it with her foul mouth. So you've been on the AI bandwagon much as well. What do you mean by that? Like in terms of what? Uh, in terms of what? That's what I want to know. What's your Chinese zodiac? Mine is an ox. What am I? I think I'm a dog. I think I'm the dog. I think I'm dog. I think. Uh, I think I'm dog. I think I am. I think I'm the dog. Um, I think I am. I got. I'm gonna check it right now. Let me see. Dog, 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 dog. Yes, I'm the dog. I'm dog. Which dog is lovely, honest, and prudent. But if you watched Jackie Chan Adventures, the dog was immortal. Pretty cool. I missed that show. I was Jackie Chan Adventures was cool. I loved how they used the Chinese zodiac in that too. That was really cool. Anybody else like Jackie Chan Adventures? Leave it in the comment section down below. That'd be great. I saw Superman with my dad. Great movie. And I even got some merchandise, a Superman Funko Pop and free poster and a Superman cup. Cool. Uh, Mary Caroline says I got the Superman cup and popcorn bucket. Somebody asked me, did I get the Galactus bucket? I said no. It's but believe it or not, guys, when I go to theaters now, I don't buy like I don't buy like popcorn and stuff. I don't. I'm just there for the movie. I'm not there to be eating. If I'm hungry, I'll eat when the movie's over. I don't buy popcorn anymore. I don't buy this. I don't buy that. And if I do, I most of the time it's in my bag, so I'll just take something out of my bag. But yeah, I don't get that stuff no more. I really don't. Uh, Andre, so okay, another one. So what would happen? Would you like to see an animated Popeye movie where he meets up with his future grandkids after being frozen in ice for 80 years while fighting against Pluto in the Arctic? Where did Blue? That's weird. Like, why would Popeye and Pluto be fighting in the Arctic? I would love a new Popeye animated series or movie. I know the creator of Dexter, he had showed off what he would do with Popeye, like it was like a screen test. It was animated. Now, if here's something that I think you all should check out. If you like Popeye, if you're a big fan of Popeye, you should check out this series written and drawn by Marcus. Um, why am I forgetting his name? Marcus Johnson. Marcus Johnson, and it's called I Lie Popeye. It's like Popeye mixed with Dragon Ball. It is so cool. The artwork is great. Like it's great. It only has 5 issues. The trade is about to come out soon, but if and it's under comic uh the comic company called Massive. Check it out. It's fun. It's great. It's beautiful. Uh, I'm trying to make sure. Let me make sure the artist because I'm probably messing. I lie pop. I just want to make sure. Under Massive Publications, and it's written by. I want to make sure. Like I said, uh, Marcus Williams. Sorry, I said Johnson. I've met him too. He's a great artist. Uh, if you want to know what it looks like, I'll show it to you. Can you see? Lights in the way. That's it, right there. I Live Popeye. Great series. That's if you're a Popeye fan, a fellow Popeye fan. If you want to hear something kind of funny, okay. Uh, Popeye is the reason why spinach is probably one of my favorite side vegetables. I'll eat spinach with anything if I can. Uh, I'll even put it on pizza. Uh, hey Chris, I gotta go. I gotta go. Really wore me out. And okay, thank you. Thanks, Marion. Sometimes I don't get popcorn. I just go see a movie, but sometimes I get the drink. Yeah, just me. Sometimes I don't do that. Uh, let's see. Yin Yang Lad says, "Do you read the new Speed Racer comic?" No, I have not read it yet, but I've heard good things about the new Speed Racer comic under Mad Cave Comics. They do Speed Racer, and they're all going to do a Racer X series, and the Phantom is going to be over there. But I do read Mad Cave. I read their Dick Tracy comics, which I love. And there's some other stuff I do read. Seeing the new Superman with my dad was a great time. And he grew up with Richard Donner film when he was 10. Okay. Next up we have is Yin Yang Lad again says Pope era characters deserve more. Agree? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Um, Personally, I don't think they would work well in the realm of movies anymore, but series like a TV series or something on like Netflix or whatever streaming service, yes, it would work. It would work so much. I would love to see the Phantom or the Shadow, come back. The Shadow knows. That's my joint. So here's a fun hypothetical question for you. So if you were a low level Gotham, you were a low level Gotham City thug, really? Okay, no, I'm messing with you. That somehow accidentally killed Harley Quinn. Which hero and villain of Gotham City would go after you? Well, I wouldn't put myself in that because first of all, I ain't no thug. But more, yeah, of course, Batman's coming after me, and Joker may just do it for old times because Joker and Harley haven't been together for years now. But I wouldn't want to kill Harley anyway. I'm like, well, I want to kill her. Like, why would I want to kill her? That would just be me. I'm like, well, why would I want? Why would I want to kill her? Harley's cool. She is. Harley is cool. Do I got any more? Don't tell me I don't have any more rips. Damn it. Let's see. Did I see the last Mission Impossible? No, I didn't. I didn't see it in theaters. I still need to see that one. Where we at? So 11, okay. Okay, that's about it. Nobody. All right. Next question. Uh, what about I know what sounded that summer? What? Y'all got to start uh, reading your comments again before y'all start writing them. If you mean I know what you did last summer, no, I didn't. I didn't see the new one, and I'm not going to see that one because I think it's stupid. When I honestly, guys, I knew I wasn't going to see it, and yes, even the lovelies, Jennifer Love Hewitt wasn't going to bring me back for that. I um actually looked up what um what the series what the series was what the show what the movie I kept saying it, what was officially going on, and to me I read it and I'm like, okay, and then reading that who was the one of the killers, I'm like, huh, like, wait, what the fuck, like, why? It made no sense to me. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who don't know. If you want to know, I'll, you know leave me in a comment when this video go up. Leave your comments in the section down below. I'll tell it to you, or if you know me on social media, message me and I'll tell you. But it was just I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wait, what? Huh? No, stupid. But yeah, then like you gotta you gotta read your stuff over again. So what? So would you read a new comic book series s- starring the superhero version of the Easter Bunny who regularly fights other holiday themed it depends on who writes it. I would probably give it a shot. Yeah, that'd be funny. Um, let's see. Like, what type of dragons do you prefer, Western or Eastern? I like them both. I like them both, but I will say this for the most part. Western dragons have more designs that I like compared to Eastern dragons, like Far East dragons. It's mostly just Eastern dragons don't have wings. They just are big and long, and basically that's why Shenlong in Dragon Ball, he's an Eastern style looking dragon. No wings, but he still can fly. But for the most part, I love like the Western style design for dragons. Wings. They got the wings and things like that. That's just me. But thank you for that question, Caroline. Yin and Yang Glad says Western, and I'm Asian. Okay, yeah. See, look, there you go. Look, yeah, you better be careful, young. That might get you up. Uh, that that's funny. Let's see who's still the top fans. Okay, Caroline has moved up to she's number two. Number two now. Congrats. All right. What time is it? Okay, we're gonna go a little longer. Uh, let's see what's next. Next question. Yin and Yang Glad asks, was Mole Man in the Fantastic Four movie? I'm. I'll spoil this for you. Yes, he was. He was in the movie. He does play a central part in the scene in the movie. But again, there was a lot of mention of a lot of classic Fantastic Four villains. Um, Mole Man wasn't the only one. John Malkovich, his character, the Red Ghost, his part was cut out of the film. And I knew he was playing the Red Ghost. Red Ghost was a and his super apes. Even though he's mentioned, and we get to see one of his. I will say this: I wish they'd have kept that in, but I wonder why they took it out. But yes, Mole Man is in it, but he didn't look like the stereotypical Mole Man like you see in the comics, where he's kind of a short, stocky guy, and with the cane and things like that. He wasn't that one version, not at all. I wish he was, but he wasn't. So I'll answer that. Yes, Mole Man was in the series, in the movies. Sorry, Mole Man's not my favorite Fantastic Four villain anyway. He's one of the oldest, but he's not my favorite. My favorite is Annihilus. So would you like to watch an adult animated Betty Boop series which centers around both Betty Boop and her friends Bingo the dog and Coco the investigating supernatural? I no, I would not. I don't think Betty Boop needs to be revitalized for adults. I not for that reason. I don't no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Uh, do you remember the Disney movie Brother Bear? Yes, I did. I love Brother Bear. Brother Bear was a good movie. That was a fun movie. I enjoyed that very much. Watched both of them. I thought both movies were pretty good. It's probably Brother Bear is probably on my top 20 or top like 30 list of Disney animated films. It's good. I did like it. Uh, who would make a good besides a good what besides Robert Downey Jr.? Is that supposed to be Iron Man? Uh, because yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, they announced that after Avengers Doomsday, the MCU kind of getting not a a restart, and kind of like a re. It's kind of going to feel more a, uh like a reboot in a sense, and characters like Iron Man and Captain America will be back and recast it. Um, I still think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the list. Oh, Doom. Oh, Doom. I thought you meant Doctor Doom. There's a plenty of actors that could play it, but and we did see him. I don't want to spoil that either, but I will say this: if anybody who's seen Fantastic Four, stay after the credits. There are two after credits, and one of them does involve Doctor Doom. But to answer that question, Juan, yeah, I mean, a lot of us have said, you could have given this to Matt Mickelson so he can. There have been a couple of actors that have played two characters in the cinematic universe. That would have been fine if Matt Mickelson came back. He came back to play Doctor Doom because the character he played in Doctor Strange, only true Doctor Strange fans know about Caecilius. Even I forgot about him. I was like, wait, who? Um, Jason Isaac, I think, could have played him. Um, there's a couple. The one thing I'm looking forward to is hearing Robert Downey speak as a character. If he speaks with an accent, that'd be cool. Well, that's not going to happen because Tony's dead. What's the best non-Godzilla movie you saw? Best non-Godzilla movie? You mean like they don't have Godzilla in it? You talking about a kaiju movie? I'll put Skull Island up there. Definitely putting Pacific Rim. I love Pacific Rim. What What do you love about Brother Bear? The whole emphasis on brothers. He Why they call it stay a bear to take care the little I'm forgetting the little bear's name. Yeah, he could have gone back to Nome. Also, another part of it is about they putting the emphasis on the Inuit, which is a tribe of indigenous people. So yeah, that's going to be a big factor as well. So would you like to read a new Dead Man ongoing from DC, which would center around another ghost girl defending the living from evil yokai from Japanese myth. The problem with Dead Man that I've seen with DC is like they don't know where he fits in most of the time. If it isn't if it isn't like they're not doing anything with Justice League Dark or any kind of supernatural, then they don't know what to do with him. Point blank. But I would be all for a new Dead Man series. That's just me. Um, New Captain America. Yeah, yes. Um, when uh they finished Doomsday, um, Captain America's Steve Rogers, Captain America is getting uh recasted. That's going to be interesting and scary at the same time because heaven help the person that takes up that role because Chris Evans did such a damn near perfect job. Same thing with Iron Man. It's like, yeah. Uh, Dots pretzels. Yes, they are dots. I love dots. They are dots. One of my favorite is the cinnamon. Cinnamon's good. They the cinnamon's good. The honey mustard is good. I like the original too. I've had the barbecue, but I usually the cinnamon one is probably my favorite. Yeah, yeah. Joaquin Phoenix did direct. He did voice that character, but he didn't voice him in the sequel. Should have got an indigenous actor to play that role. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. We got a change. Okay. Now we got Callan is number one. And Yin and Yang Lad is number two. And Andre is coming up the rear with 125 XP. And and Yin and Yang and Carolina both have 150 XP. Let me see. rank the Toy Story films. Oh man. Uh ooh. Hmm. Okay. Mm, that's tough. Let me get a look at them real quick. Uh let me see. Okay, so Toy Story. Mm, okay. Uh all right. Just wanted to make sure I trying to make sure I because where I'm trying to remember which one did Bo Peep come back, and I was like, okay, it was that was the fourth one. All right, so rank them. Number one, Toy Story will always be high. Be the always number one. I mean, I love that movie. I love the first one. I can watch that over and over. Is it raining? Yeah, it is raining. Okay. Toy Story 3 will be number two. That's number two. Toy Story 2 would be I'm gonna rank that number three, and number four is the fourth one. That's my ranking for them. I didn't mind four, but it just there was some. I don't think it was a problem. I think there was just something about the story for the fourth one that just didn't add up with me. And I was just like, uh, I love the second one too. The second, but Toy Story 3 is over two. I love three. Three, that one get hits hard. Um, because that's really where they really move on from Andy. Andy now is growing up, and I loved seeing him. Andy saying goodbye to them. I really wish. There's always a part of me that wishes that Woody would have said something to Andy. You know, but I think the problem is if Woody had to talk to Andy, then he probably would have kept him. Like, but I would have loved if Woody had said, "I love you too, Andy. Like, we love you too," and they all just started moving and waving at him, and it was like, oh. But and again, it would be like, wait, you're alive. You've been alive all this time, like, yeah, but we can't talk as I would have loved that. That would have been perfect. But just to see him, give his toys to Bonnie and move on, but also be like, goodbye, guys. Thank you. Was nice. That was nice. But and two, I love two for two is good because it put emphasis on how rare Woody is. Woody is a rare toy. He's not you know he's not just some toy. He's a rare toy. Um, and that's what that was all about. Woody started to feel more. Well, he was feeling that way since the first movie, but yeah, and he got to see like there were other toys like him, and I get it, but 2 and 3, three hit harder than 2. That hit very hard. And the fourth one, like I said, didn't hate the fourth one, but I don't know, just there was something off about that one. And I know they're doing a fifth one. I think that comes out later this year. I think I could be wrong, but yeah. So that's my ranking: 1, 3, 2, 4. All right. Since we got Spawn and MK11 and Omni Man in Mortal Kombat 12 or Mortal Kombat 1, should NetherRealm have an Injustice game with an image character? I don't even think they're gonna do another Injustice game, and I don't really care for guest characters. If you're gonna do guest characters, no, I just, if you want me to be honest, there's only one guest character I want to see in a Mortal Kombat game, and that's Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. He's perfect for that game. That's all. Was it nice to see Conan, and was it nice to see? Yeah, it was, but it's just like, because that's what it became more about. And that's the one thing I don't like about Mortal Kombat games now. As of late, it's like they do the game, and everybody just talks about, oh, I wonder who the guest character is going to be. I don't like that. I'm like, it's like you are forgetting the game itself, but you're worried so much about the guest stars over the characters that are already in it or that are not in it. You know, Mortal Kombat 1 to me fucked up because they didn't have Sonya in it. I'm like, where the fuck is Sonya? That was the first thing I said. You don't have the first lady of Mortal Kombat in your game. You have her as a side character, an assist character. I'm like, no, nah, no, that's stupid. It's the first lady. That's the first lady of Mortal Kombat. That's like Street Fighter not putting Chun Li in the game. She's the first lady of Street Fighter. What the fuck? Like, come on. I hated that. I did. I hated that. Um. Next up, Caroline says, "Do you think Disney should do another Native American story as a movie?" Well, I am half, so yeah. There you go. Of course. But again, they'll probably Disneyfy it because, like I said, it depends on what it is. If you only knew what who Pocahontas really was and what they, oh boy, yeah. Would Yujiro Hama be a great Marvel villain? No, no, he wouldn't. It depends on the character, maybe, but an over a Marvel villain, no, because there are guys that are stronger than him. You when you compare his strength to Marvel characters, like imagine like Yujiro trying to fight the Hulk. You stupid, like he'd get killed. Yujiro trying to fight Thor. Yujiro trying to fight Silver Surfer. Come on, stop. Do you like the Naked Gun series? If so, are you excited? I just answered this, Angel, but since you weren't here earlier, somebody asked me, "Am I going to see the new the new one coming out that is got Liam Neeson in it and Pamela Anderson?" Um, I love the Naked Gun franchise in general. I love Leslie Nielsen in general as well. You talk about an actor who went from being a very serious actor to finding his niche in comedy. Rest in peace. Uh, More likely, I probably will check it out because it's not really a reboot; it's an actual sequel because he's playing Frank Drebin's son. He's Frank Drebin Jr. Um, so most likely, I probably will see it. I need a comedy to watch. Also, hi Chris. It's good to hear you. Yeah, nice to see you too, Angel. Um, I mean a main game. I mean a main game with image characters. I don't. I really don't care. If you're gonna do that, then just make it. I no. John. Wait, is that Jonathan Netherton? Whoa! It's been a long time since I've been able to. Oh my God, my opinion. And I have to say, my opinion. Marvel finally got it. Got the Phantom right. And for the record, I wish the hate mobs for both DC films would shut up. Yes, I agree with that. Wow, John, I haven't. It's good to hear from you. Nice. Yes, I saw the Fantastic Four movie today. Well, I said, yeah, it's still Thursday. Uh, I saw it today. Loved it. I even wrote it on my. I posted a little mock review on my my page here on YouTube, and I basically said it's the best live action adaptation. I personally said Stan Lee and Jack Kirby would be proud of this one. Um, the For them to really emphasize family, perfect. That is what always has separated the Fantastic Four from all the other Marvel characters. They're a family. It's always about family, 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 family. That was the problem I had, and that's the problem that the other movies lacked. The other movies lacked that that main of Fantastic Four, family. In the first movie they did, Reed and Sue are not even married. They're not even together anymore. It just felt weird. Uh, then you had, and then the second movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, they're trying to get married and never works out until the end. And that I didn't care for that other crap because that was crap. I didn't care. And then this one nailed it. Like I said earlier, I try not to compare. I really do, guys. But when I looked at when I looked at Vanessa Kirby and Jessica Alba as Sue, I'm gonna leave the other girl. I'm forgetting the other actress who played her in that 2015 garbage. Uh, total opposites. Total opposites of each other. Vanessa Kirby, Sue felt directly like she was right out the comics. She didn't feel like she was out of place. She felt naturally there. She was strong, powerful, intelligent, everything you want in Sue. She wasn't just eye candy like Jessica Alba's was. I don't care what anybody says. I got nothing against Jessica Alba in general, but let's be real. Her Sue was just there for eye candy. And they made sure to emphasize that many times where she had to get naked or something just to go invisible. I hated that. Johnny in this one compared to, I'll just use um, Chris Evans, Johnny. They were great and they're both mine because Chris Evans played Johnny more like old school Johnny from the early days of Kirby and Lee's run, where he was the showman, he was the playboy, and loved the attention and the wild one. In this one, he felt there was there was push on that too, but he felt so much more, and I love that. Then there's Ben, the Thing, Michael Chiklis. I thought he was one of the best parts of the early Fantastic Four movies, and he nailed Thing as well. And then I'm forgetting the actor's full name who played Thing in this one. He was great, and there was certain things about it that I love too. Is like the emphasis on when Thing walked, just the little things. You just felt the weight, his weight, how heavy he must be. I don't think they really put the emphasis on that in the original. I could be wrong, correct me. But it was the little things that I loved too. Like, remember in the original Fantastic Four cartoon from the 90s, especially that second scene when Thing would walk, it would boom, boom, boom. You felt, and when Thing walked, it was like, oh, you could tell he's heavy. He's heavy. So yeah, I love that. And Pedro Pascal as Reed, he was great. He felt like Reed, always thinking all different variables, and they're like, what is this? What I'm trying to, I gotta figure it out. And what I love mostly is, of course, him still blaming himself over how what they are now. I love that. It like that's the little things of the Fantastic Four core, the character development of these characters that played up. And then, of course, when when I mean, you guys seen the trailer, but when Baby Franklin comes in, then there's more attitude. It was great. I loved it. I loved it so much. Um, if I was to say, is this up there as one of the best MCU movies? Yep, it is. It is. This was not an. This was a superhero drama, and it worked perfectly. And it needed to be. If this was just an adventure film, it probably wouldn't have worked as good. It needed to be a drama where there were stakes and a lot of stakes involved. It worked. Okay. Um. Let me see. And by the way, there was no cloud. Well, John, you weren't here earlier, but I said it earlier. I cried when he came on the screen, and you could tell where they took emphasis from when he first came out, and you just saw his silhouette and his glowing eyes. I was like, I know where they pulled that from. I was like, they pulled that from that poster from, like, I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance did it one time. I was like, and then when he talked, I was like, I cried. I was like, oh. And I'm hearing people say, oh, there should have been, he should have had more time. I'm like, no, that's the whole point. The build up for him to come was great. But you damn right, no fucking cloud. I said it before. It's like we can do the when I was hearing people tell me, and I'm sorry, God, I was hearing when they started. I remember one time I did a list of characters. I don't think I think I just wrote it. Um, I think I wrote it on Comic Vine. Um, and I basically said, asked characters I want to see in the MCU, and I said Galactus up there. And this one person came back and wrote on my post, they can't do Galactus. And as soon as I saw that, I said, why not? I said, why not? Why couldn't they do Galactus? I said, give me a reason. Well, he's a giant and everything. and this was at the time already. They already did Guardians of the Galaxy. So I said, my man, I said, Guardians of the Galaxy they gave us the the not the Eternals, the um the Celestials, giant robots, giant robot beings. You telling me they can't do a giant cosmic like god? Get that out of here. Get out of here with that. I'm like, you crazy? I'm like, they can do it. And you know what? They did. Chef's kiss. So I wish I knew what my I wish, because I haven't been back on Comic Vine. I lost my password. I don't know how to get. I don't even know uh, what email I had it under. I forgot it. I forgot it. But I would go back to that dude right now and said, "How's that crow tasting now? Hmm? How's that crow eating that crow? How's that?" Couldn't do Galactus. They did him perfect. Let me see. Spider-Man Brand New Day starts filming tomorrow. I can't wait to see Peter and Frank together. How they gonna react? Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That is gonna be fun. You know, Punisher's gonna be busy. He's busy. Spider-Man, and he's doing his special, and I'm glad they're using Cuccintillo from the I forget who run, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I understand, and take care. Thank you. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up too, guys. I don't understand what the problem was with Superman. I loved it. I felt like a lot of people hate it. Was nothing wrong with Superman. There was nothing wrong with that film. There's just, you know where that hate comes from? That hate comes from all those people that um still are mad and pissed off that the Schneiderverse failed. That's pretty much what it is. Schneiderverse was a failure. It was a failure. You can't you it had out of all the movies, how many of them really was that real good? Wasn't a lot of them. Not really. I loved Wonder Woman. Man of Steel. Man of Steel was okay, and I was hoping for a sequel. And they give us Batman versus. I was like, why? Wonder Woman was great. Aquaman was great. I loved Aquaman. Loved Wonder Woman. Their sequels, not so much. Um, Captain Marvel, because y'all know I'm not calling him under that S name. That's the Wizard's name. I love the first one. The second one, and not so much. Black Adam was okay. My love for it became because I wanted to see the JSA. The star of that movie was really Dr. Fate. And when I was like, I want to see more of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. He was great. But to me, that was all. As much as I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it's like, yo, that's your ego, man. You let your ego get the best of you in that. Because at the end of the day, Black Adam is no hero. He's an anti-hero, yes. But there's a reason for why. And he wasn't even Tef Adam. I was like, what the hell? Like, I love Blue Beetle. Um, but at the end of the day, yeah, look, and the Flash, get the fuck out of here with that movie. Fuck that movie. Let's be real. The only reason why people went to see that movie was for Michael Keaton's Batman. To me, Ezra Miller was no Flash. That fool belongs in jail. But money talks, bullshit walks. If he looked like me, he would be in jail. Snyderverse failed. To all the haters out there. So we get a clear cut Superman that feels almost directly not just being respectful to the character that Jerry Siegel and Schuster created, but being respectful to basically a true successor to Christopher Reeve's Superman, the GOAT. And you got a problem with because why? Because he's saving people. He's saving people. He's not just saving people. He's saving animals. That's Superman. He's always been like that. Open a fucking book, you dumbwads. I hate that. Like when I went to see Superman, the amount of people that was cheering for a lot of that stuff was great. And yes, Mr. Terrific, one of my favorite DC heroes, was the MVP of that movie. But at the end of the day, yeah, there people just hating and they just want to see it fail. It's like why do you want to see this new installment of DC movies fail? If there's a plan and James Gunn's got a plan and he knows where he's going with this, then you should be rooting for him instead of trying to for it to fail. But Superman made a lot of money and it was a success. And all I can say to James Gunn is congratulations. I look forward to seeing what's next. The next one next is Supergirl. And if you've read Supergirl, Girl of Tomorrow from Tom King, that's where they're taking that story. That's why she felt so different, you know, because that's real. And that if you ever read that miniseries, basically it's Supergirl. She feels out of place. She feels like her purpose is not real anymore. So she travels all over different planets that have a red sunlight where she can get drunk and everything like that. And it gets crazier from there because she feels like her purpose was to protect her cousin, Kal-El. Kal-El grew up. She didn't grow up really. Remember, Supergirl is the older cousin. But because of what happened, she still looks like she's a teenager or something like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. If you would ask me, like, what's the one movie out of the Gods and Monsters run of DC that you looking forward to the most, it would be Swamp Thing. I'm a big Swamp Thing fan, so I can't wait to see how they portray Swamp Thing in this. Will he be the guardian of the green? And but they say they're going more for a horror feel. That's all. That's good for me too. But I just don't want Mr. Gunn to over. We only got a glimpse of what that chapter one is supposed to be. We don't even know who the DCU Batman is going to be because they're doing Brave and the Bold, and that's Batman and Robin, I, Damian Wayne. So, and they've already announced that, Dick is Nightwing in this world as well as Jason Todd. So, yeah, it's just stupid. Like I said, John, it's just stupid. Chris Evans nailed two Marvel heroes that was created by Kirby. That's he did. Yeah, that's true. Um, Often it feels like people hate just to me. Yeah, but it is they just want to hate. They just want to see things burn because they can't get their way. Personally, love the change of Clark's birth mother and dad. Your thought? I did not. I don't like that. That is probably the one thing I didn't like about the movie. I did not like the fact that they basically switched. They switched Jarrell's motive for why he sent Clark to Earth. I did not like that because that goes against everything Jarrell stands for. I hated that. I was not a big fan of that. I was like, this feels like my adventures as Superman now. And there I was okay with it. I was like, okay, but for them to use that now, well, okay, and even then, when they I thought Lex was just He did it to he faked it. He just made up some excuse. But for him to say, yeah, he actually encrypted alien technology, Kryptonian technology, I was like, he's smart, but he's not that smart. Like he couldn't shouldn't be able to decipher that. But I wasn't a big fan of that. That kind of bothered me. I was like, no, 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 no. Now I sound like Georgina from Get Out. No, 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 no. Yeah, that's how I felt. You know, I was like, no, that why? You know, just felt off for me. Uh, your is working on yeah. The people behind Guilty Gear is working on a Marvel game. I saw that and that looked great. Um, favorite Tom and Jerry episodes. Uh, I I don't know them by heart, but like by the names. But I most of the episodes of Tom and Jerry I love are the ones where Tom is not even chasing Jerry. Jerry come messing with her. That's why I always say Jerry's the real bully. The one episode I remember is where Tom was just trying to get the attention of this girl cat, and so he started singing the song "Is You Is" or "Is You Is My Baby," and then here comes Jerry messing with him. I'm like, yo, why are you messing with him? Anytime Jerry's nephew came into the picture, I thought were fun. Um, uh, oh, Jerry's uh, Jerry's Uncle Pecos, who was singing a song, and he would like he would he was like he was from Texas, so he was like, and he kind of I think he like stuttered a little bit. He was like, "Hey, nephew," and he's like, "You got a guitar string on your nephew?" And every time his guitar string broke, he would just pull one of Tom's whiskers out. It was the funniest thing. I thought that was hilarious. Uh, so yeah, those are some episodes I did like. I think the Woman Surfer was a great addition, and it well, again, them using Shalaba as the surfer again. You people have to remember that this is a different Earth, and there is a comic series called Earth X under Marvel where Shalaba and Norin Rad became Silver Surfers. So I didn't have no problem with them using Shalaba as the surfer instead. Um, And I even liked how they had her move. Like they legitimately had her move like she was surfing. Like it was like, okay, look at the influence. It was great. So I really enjoyed that as well. I'll have my review up later, guys, about that. Let me see. Okay. We're gonna wrap this up. Let me answer these last questions and I'll wrap this up. Uh he didn't even fight Billy. Who didn't fight Billy? Uh Maybe kindness truly is the new punk rock. I don't mind it. It was great. Black Adam. Oh, Black Adam. Yeah, because Rock didn't want it. Rock was trying to get Black Adam to fight Superman. That's why Cavill came back and just didn't work. What do you love about Swamp Thing? Swamp Thing is the real embodiment of Earth. He's depending on who wrote it, but he is the guardian of the green. He's the true guardian of Earth. He's like supernatural mixed with science. It's really cool. I love that about Swamp Thing. Yeah, I'm also a little iffy on the change of Jarrell and Mara. I did not like that. I just didn't like that too much. Favorite Simpsons episodes from Warhawk Rambo. Um, I have fell off the Simpsons. I used to love the Simpsons, but I fell off of them a long time ago. And I can't remember all of the episodes I did love. But I think anything that dealt with Sideshow Bob and Bart were were fun. Um, I still do watch the Treehouse specials. Uh, One episode I do love of Simpsons is where this is old. This just kind of shows my age. Is when uh, Homer went into a mental institution, like he went to. and when he was in there, he met this guy who thought he was Michael Jackson, and I think Michael Jackson actually voiced the character. So, uh, but it was funny. By the way, sorry I missed so much of this. That's fine. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everyone who came through. We'll do this next month again. Um, Again, if you have not seen Fantastic Four, go check it out. It's a great movie. And we got one more question from Angel. Do you hope to see Spidey and Human Torch together in the MCU? I think Tom and Joseph would. I would love to see that that friendship. Again, you guys got to remember that they are kind of gonna reboot the universe where it's just one universe. Um, and so if the Fantastic Four, if Spider Man's in there, and I'd love to see Spider Man and the Human Torch together, and they're having a friendship, that'd be great. It'd be great. So yeah, I hope so. I really do. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Have a good night, or it's morning now, but you guys take care. It's morning here in New York, but I will see you guys next time. As always, take care. Deuces.